Hey guys, welcome to another interesting video from our channel, Engination. In this video today, we take an inside look into SpaceX's newly revealed insane $3.2 billion space factory. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more interesting videos like this in the future. That said, let's begin. SpaceX reveals new plans to launch space factories. SpaceX is a leader in the space industry, and it doesn't appear that this will change very soon. Elon Musk's next project might include revolutionizing space manufacturing. Vardar Space Industries, a startup that aspires to establish in-space manufacturing facilities, will launch its first spacecraft into orbit in 2023 on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The spaceship will be in orbit for up to 3 months, testing space manufacturing technology, and at the end of the mission, a re-entry capsule will return to Earth with around 40 to 60 kilograms of material produced in orbit. According to Vardar management, the firm picked SpaceX because it provided the most cost-effective and dependable alternative for sending their spacecraft into orbit. President and co-founder of Vardar Space, Elon Musk, stated that launch costs are a major driver of the company's finances. This explains their decision to use the cheapest possible remedy. Musk also commented on the new agreement, adding, quote, "We are delighted about Vardar signing with SpaceX as its launch provider. The significant reduction in entrance barriers will allow the Vardar to finally deliver the immense benefits of space to so many people on Earth, whose lives will change tangibly for the better as a result of microgravity manufacturing." Another reason Vardar must have chosen SpaceX is that both Vardar Space business founders are well-versed in Elon Musk's enterprise. Will Brewy worked for SpaceX for over 6 years, and Elon Musk is a principal in the Founders Fund, which has assets in both Vardar Space and SpaceX. A firm like Vardar would not have been conceivable even 5 years ago. However, the firm is now not only operational, but it's also in a position to economically supply unique items that can only be made in space. All this is owing to fewer expensive launches, more stringent rules, and commoditized space hardware solutions. Brewy is enthused by the prospect of using Vardar's knowledge in space to bring fascinating possibilities to Earth's greatest companies, given that extended exposure to zero gravity is not conceivable on Earth. Let us now turn our attention to the million-dollar question. What can you produce in space that you can't make on Earth? Certain things such as specialized semiconductors, bioprinted human organs, and Z-band, a super-efficient fiber optic cable, can only be made efficiently in microgravity. Space is the only area where microgravity may be found for extended periods. Vardar Space is a year-old startup with bigger ambitions than most corporate giants. Its objective is to establish the world's first space factory, or more specifically, the first all-in-one space factory. The ISS should be considered the first space factory since it regularly hosts payloads from paying customers, some of which are focused on producing materials that can only be manufactured in microgravity. It should be mentioned that the volumes generated by these trials are ridiculously low. Vardar Space intends to address this issue. The goods produced by these ISS tiny factories are subsequently transported down to Earth aboard one of SpaceX Dragons, which more than a decade after its introduction is still the only spaceship in existence capable of transporting substantial volumes of goods from orbit to Earth. We have proved that orbital manufacturing has been taking place for many years, although on a very limited scale. So let's take a look at what the new California startup intends to do differently. The game plan for Vardar Space is simple: replicate and expand on the International Space Station's proven model for forging a path to commercialization rather than launching many factories with small experiments to the ISS, which the crew on board is practically forced to troubleshoot and maintain. The Vardar intends to construct its small satellites with tiny re-entry capsules capable of returning up to 100 kilos to Earth. Despite being launched by SpaceX on a Falcon 9, the actual spacecraft for the 2023 mission will be built by Rocket Lab. Vardar disclosed that it had obtained 3 Photon satellite buses from Rocket Lab, which would act as a type of mothership for each Vardar-built re-entry capsule. The Photon is built on Rocket Lab's successful Electron rocket kickstage and includes avionics, batteries, extra propellant, solar panels, and optional propulsion improvements to provide an off-the-shelf satellite bus capable of supporting and powering onboard payloads. This means that instead of having to construct and qualify their satellites, Photon allows clients to spend their time and resources on creating the payloads and services they wish to deploy. Vardar Space appears to be the first firm to fully capitalize on this opportunity. However, there will undoubtedly be many more to come. Vardar Space successfully disclosed that Rocket Lab has no restriction prohibiting Photon clients from launching the satellite buses they purchase on rockets not produced by Rocket Lab. This explains SpaceX's launch contract. Some specialized small satellite launchers such as Rocket Lab's Electron provide various advantages. However, the rates are typically relatively high. An Electron launch transporting 440 pounds to a sun-synchronous orbit is estimated to cost roughly $7.5 million. A seat on a SpaceX rideshare to a similar but not as finely customized orbit would cost the same buyer about $1 million. Rocket Lab's Photon costs a couple $1,000,000 and includes a propulsion system capable of refining the spacecraft's orbit after the rideshare launch. Vardar's modified Photon will be one of several things on Falcon 9's ride-sharing expedition, a novel and profitable service that divides the expense of traveling to space among clients by allowing them to carpool to space. SpaceX claims to reduce the cost of launch to as little as $1 million for an individual client wishing to transport up to 440 pounds of payload to sun-synchronous orbit. Good luck to any corporation attempting to compete with that. Vardar, unlike communications and imaging spacecraft, doesn't require a fixed orbit for its mission other than to remain in low Earth orbit, making it perfect for rideshare missions. The only thing that counts, according to Brewy, is that the orbital inclination is high enough to pass over Vardar's landing spot. The re-entry capsule will touch down in an unknown place, according to Vardar Space. The key to success, according to Brewy, is to get operational hardware into orbit as soon as possible. And he believes it based on how swiftly his firm has been operating. Vardar announced a $42 million Series A round headed by Khosla Ventures and Caffeinated Capital in July. To date, Vardar has raised more than $53 million. Given that the firm was created in November 2020, this is a staggering amount. Although the Vardar has cited a variety of high-value items such as optical fiber and medicines, we still don't know what it plans to manufacture in space. When questioned, business co-founder and president Asparov declined to reveal the first substance produced in space, stating that the firm will publicize it after a deal with a customer is signed. He also stated that there was a 50% probability that this would occur within the next 6 months. According to Asparov, the company is focusing on the technology required for space manufacturing, which he claims would offer it a competitive advantage. However, creating the re-entry capsule that will return the materials to Earth is by far their most difficult task at the present. This statement was emphasized by Brewy. Manufacturing in space could offer a unique advantage to certain companies due to its low pressure, which lowers the chance of contamination. This would save a lot of money for firms with elaborate decontamination systems. According to the website of SpaceForge, a UK-based space firm manufacturing on Earth faces various problems. Gravity, which produces buoyancy and prevents the creation of ideal alloys in metals of different densities, is the most difficult problem. The key to a successful commercial in-space manufacturer is an accurate, manageable return. So will Vardar dominate the in-space manufacturing sector with its massive launch agreement with SpaceX? Time will tell. When do you believe in space manufacturing will become a standard in the space industry? Comment your thoughts down below. And also, if you enjoyed watching today's video, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such exciting content and latest updates. Until next time.